Welcome to the breakdown recorded September 29th, 2020. In this show, we break down some interesting topics and let you know some fun facts that you may not have known about before and help answer popular questions I get. If you have a suggestion for something you want me to cover, leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. I can do some research and see if I can answer the questions for you. Now, if you like this content, you want even more of it, make sure to follow me on Twitter, LukeBK. I'll put a link to it down in the show notes. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Hopefully we can help you learn something new. Today I wanted to break down a few things, starting off with, is it illegal to post a negative review of a company online? Can you get in trouble for what you post on Yelp and Google and other places? The truth is yes and no. And we'll break that down in a moment, but in the short answer, yes, you can get in trouble if it's defamatory. But you do have some protections, though that may not stop you from getting sued and having to defend yourself in court. The truth is it's very complicated, but in 2016, a Consumer Review Fairness Act, CRFA for short, does protect your ability to leave an honest review online. Now, it does not protect you at all from allegations of defamation, etc. Now, it is important to remember I am not a lawyer. If you're looking for help with a specific legal case in this, talk to a lawyer. But according to several reports, in short, businesses can't force you to say, I won't leave an honest review online. At least not if the contract isn't open to negotiation. But you are not protected against if you leave a completely false and defamatory contract or a comment or a review just because you don't like the person. So keep that in mind. It is a growing business out there of paying people to leave negative reviews of your customer or of your competitors so customers come to you. That isn't protected. You can get in trouble if you agree to, for a few bucks, to go leave a negative review for a company or business you've never been there, or an untruthful review, for example. So keep that in mind. Now, talk to a lawyer always whenever these kind of things happen. But in short, though, it is important to know other countries have different laws. This affects the United States, and some states have additional protections. If you do get sued, some states will say, hey, if you're sued and are found to have been completely truthful and you win the lawsuit, basically, the person that sued you for the comments or the review could have to pay your legal fees. But that's not in every state, so be careful out there. You always want to kind of think, is it really worth it? And what I'm saying is truthful and honest before you post it. So keep that in mind. But before you ever post any negative reviews, that's the way you should be asking yourself. Because remember, these are small businesses. These are companies who are struggling to survive and doing the best they can in most cases. And am I being fair and truthful about what they really did when I worked with them? All right, so if you want to learn more about that, put some links in the show notes down below so you can read some more details about is it illegal to leave a negative review about a business out there. But let's jump into some additional stories out there, some weird, interesting things happening in the world. In Florida, maybe not surprised that this happened in Florida, a neighbor called the police when he heard his apartment next door neighbors yelling, shoot, shoot. Well, it turns out his neighbors were watching the Stanley Cup and they were yelling at their favorite team to actually shoot for the goal. And when the police came, they talked to them. They said, hey, we're watching the Stanley Cup finals. We're just talking to the TV. The police apparently had a chuckle and left. But the neighbor did report them for yelling, shoot, shoot. So as you're watching some sports, maybe be careful that you're not screaming so loud that your neighbors can hear you as you talk. 3 people, as the pandemic has been growing, I almost jumped a story. As the pandemic has been growing, one of the items that have recently become out of stock is desks. As people work from home more, as kids are doing at-home schooling more often, more people are saying, hey, we really need a desk. We really need like a real spot to do our work rather than a dining room table, a couch, wherever. That's led to a shortage of small desks, especially desks under a $200 price range. Now, there are desks out there, but it seems like people who are looking for a desk to fit in a small area are having a hard time finding some of them right now. Now, other places like Amazon, Target, and more are struggling to keep stock in that range. So let me know, have you run into that and have you got creative? Apparently there's a growing trend of people offering DIY hacks on ways to kind of piece together other furniture like bookshelves and more into a nice little small desk area. So let me know if you struggled with that. If you have any experience with it, I'd love to hear from you. All right, story number 4. 3 New York railroad workers have been busted for having a secret man cave. Apparently under track 114 in New York City, they had behind a locked door, a hidden man cave, complete with lockers, fridge, microwave, a TV connected to a streaming player, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and more, so they can enjoy some of their downtime maybe when they're not so busy. Now they have been, not arrested, but busted and put on leave after their little hideout was found. Now, it turns out that they had a Wi-Fi hotspot tied to one of the employees, another one had and 2 others had items in there that identified them, but it's very likely that more people actually use this, quote, man cave, according to the story. Let's be honest, we've all thought about that, right? We've all thought about, man, during my break time, I'd love to have a streaming player, have a more comfortable work environment or more there. And so have you ever actually done anything like that? Now, to me, a little bit, it's like, well, if they're just doing it on their lunch break and typically approved rest breaks, I don't really care as a business owner if you bring a microwave and a fridge and different things in there. But if you're on working hours and you're actually watching Netflix, yeah, I actually care about that as a business owner. It's hard being a business owner. You don't want to be paying people who aren't actually working. So let me know, if you ever done anything like that, or have you ever loafed on the job? We probably all have. I probably have, where I probably haven't put my full effort into a job when I could, just because I'm tired or worn out or unhappy at work. I don't know. Let me know if you've ever done that. All right. Out of Florida, a very sad story. A Kentucky woman mailed her mother's ashes to her sister down in Florida, only to find out her sister moved and they mailed them to the wrong place. Coroner report on September 9th, a woman out of Kentucky mailed her sister her mother's ashes, who had recently passed away. They went to the hotel or to the apartment complex where her sister used to live. The resident there opened the box, realized this wasn't for her, made arrangements for the post office to come get it, put it outside her door for the post office to come pick it up because it was delivered to her by mistake, and it vanished. This has led the family devastated and desperately trying to find it. So if you're ever mailing anything important, especially something important as your mother's ashes, you definitely want to check that that address is the one that they are really still living at. I can't tell you how many times when I worked in an e-commerce type situation that people would buy stuff and would go to a completely different address. I actually had this happen once. I got an electronics device. I paid through PayPal. Even though I swear I put the right address, for some reason they pulled an old address out of PayPal and shipped it there rather than the address I thought I had entered into the actual website. Turns out that I'd entered everything, but when I said I would pay with PayPal, it wiped that and pulled an old address. So I had to go back and delete that out of the system. I've even made that mistake. So make sure you're aware of that and you're careful, especially when it's something very, very important. You want to make sure you're not sending that to the wrong place. All right, we can never get enough pumpkin spice, and now Kraft has introduced a pumpkin spice flavored macaroni and cheese. So if you are a mac and cheese fan like my daughter and eat it all the time, Kraft wants to know, are you going to eat a pumpkin spice flavored mac and cheese? To me, that's just way overboard. That's too much pumpkin spice. The pumpkin spice crave needs to die down. It's just going overboard. It's kind of fun on some things. Mac and cheese, I'm going to cut the line. But you let me know, are you a pumpkin spice fan this time of year? Would you go so far as to eat mac and cheese that is pumpkin spice flavored? I'd love to hear from you and know what you think of that. And lastly, one of the last home video stores, Family Video, is closing stores across the United States. I picked one store in the show. It's about Michigan closing 20 locations. Not all of them are closing, but many of them are. And it's a sad day. It was one of the last remaining big chains of movie stores. Now, a lot of people have been asking, why don't they just open another independent local store? Actually, here in my hometown, somebody did that. They opened one in an old Blockbuster It lasted like 2 months and went out of business. So it doesn't seem like there's really the demand for it that people would think there is. So let me know, do you still like going into movie stores or not at all? I'd love to hear from you. There is still one last blockbuster hanging on there. I kind of want to go out there just for nostalgia. Take my daughter and be like, look, back in the day when I was your age, this is how we had to get a movie. And if it wasn't there, it wasn't there. So I'd love to know what you think of that. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you miss going to the actual stores. All right, that's it for today. I hope this video helped you out. Hope you learned something new and interesting. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. And I appreciate your support. Thanks everybody out there. We've seen a very nice jump in new subscribers. So if you're finding me for the first time or you follow me from my old YouTube channel, I appreciate your support. And I hope you like this new one. Hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Follow me on Twitter. I'll see you all back here on Thursday. Take care, everybody, and leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything you want me to break down, explain, or try to help you understand. Thanks for your support.